you doing today? Donovan Owens here with the Eat Right System, and I hope you're having an awesome day. Today I wanted to shoot a little video for you talking about one of my clients' biggest struggles that I've seen, and what that is overcoming self-sabotage. And this is something that we do subconsciously. Most of the time we don't even know it, but we have this little series of events that we go through every time we find ourselves failing at something. So when it comes to fitness and nutrition, it's not any different. So there are three key points that I want to touch on today. And the first one is recognize your internal trigger language. And what I mean by that is there's always these little statements that you tell yourself when something gets a little too hard for you, or you feel like you can't do it. Your mind goes through this little series of statements that you find yourself saying, and sometimes you don't even know that you're doing it. So I want you to really take time to recognize what that internal trigger language is, and that is the beginning of your self-sabotage. It's the things that are going to drive you to quit, these little statements that you start to believe and make it okay for yourself in the form of excuses that make it okay for you to quit whatever you're doing, even if you're getting close to success. Those things will pop up and say, oh, you know what, maybe this is not for me or whatever. But so recognize that internal trigger language, okay? Number two is develop a trigger solution. So as these common statements come up inside your head, what is the solution that you can develop to make sure that you can combat that right away? You don't want to continue down the same cycle. So if fat loss is your goal and you've tried everything out there on the market, then you want to make sure that you have a solution when these triggers start to pop up in your head that say, you know what, you can't be successful at fat loss because it's not true. So make sure to come up with this solution, and the way you do that is write down exactly what you can do. Write down what your trigger statements are, first of all, that pop up. Really do that. Write it down because that makes it real. And then write down your solution that every time that trigger pops up, this solution is going to combat it right away so that you can continue being successful one day at a time. And then the third thing, and I talk about this all the time with my clients, is define a really strong reason why you want to be in better shape, why you want to experience fat loss, why you want to feel better, why you want to look better when you walk by a mirror. Why do you want to do that? If you don't know the core reason, then sometimes that trigger language, it takes over very, very easily. Even going through these steps, if you don't have the reason why, then you can be taken over, and I don't want that to happen to you, okay? So your reason why needs to be deep to the core. It doesn't need to be a surface reason. Oh, I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? There's a reason you want to look better in the mirror. What is that? Is it that you want your spouse to look at you in a more dedicated way? Is it that you want your kids to see you as a good example? Is it that you had, your closest family member die and you don't want to end up in that same situation, so you are driven to the core to be better today? So whatever that is, define that reason why, write it down, and put it somewhere that you can review it at least once a day. That's very, very important. And these things seem like, little petty situations or petty little things that you can do. But I tell you what, it may be the difference in you accomplishing your fat loss goals and getting the body you want or not. If you haven't tried this, then I really encourage you not to knock it down. Give it a shot and recognize your internal trigger language, the sabotage that comes into your mind. Define some solutions that you can use every time that trigger language comes up, and then define a really deep to the core reason why you want to be better tomorrow. Write all that stuff down, make it real, and I look forward to seeing you on the next post. Take care. Donovan with the Eat Right System, and we'll see you next time.